It's been a while. I have actually been pretty busy with work, and I usually make videos a few ahead, and ran out of videos ahead, so we went a few weeks without video. I want to talk to you today about the Jinhao 250, which is this pen. You're going to see in some of the close-ups that I actually have two different Jinhao 250s, but I've given the one with the paint splashes away. Now, this is a nice little pen. It's not a big pen, it's slim. It has a metal grip, but I kind of like it has ridges on the grip to make it easier to grip, so it's not as slippery as a regular metal pen, so it's nice. It could be posted. I'll admit that I don't like this particular finish, but I bought this in a multi-pack of 4 pens. 2 of them I gave to my brother and his wife as Christmas. The other one I just gave away, and then this one, which I will give away at some point. And they came in different colors, and I think I paid $17 for 4 pens, so that's a nice price. Metal pens, which if you're into metal, that's grand, sorry. I had one of the pens was silver colored, one of the pens was black, one of the pens was paint splashes, and then one was this reddish finish, which you also saw in one of my reviews of the Jinhao 450. Now the nib is a little smaller than the Jinhao 450. It is not compatible with the Goulet nibs, for example. It's not a number 6 nib. I don't care. It writes just fine. This is actually a good nib. It's a much better nib than the Jinhao has on their 450. I have had no hard starts with these pens, and I've written with them all. The converter is actually a little bit nicer than what I found on the 450. It's just higher quality. It sort of reminds me of the Lamy converter. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but it just does. And the pen can be disassembled for cleaning. It does have some of the same issues I saw with the 450, namely, if the ink sits in it overnight or a couple days, water does evaporate and the ink gets really concentrated, but I haven't had any hard starts as a result. So take that for what it's worth. Overall, no real fancy adornments. I think personally it has too much bling, but it doesn't bother me as much as it did on the 450. So whatever Jinhao did, they did it right on this pen, whereas they did it wrong on the 450. So really, I have nothing else to say other than talk about size, and I should have a Conrad. And now I do have a Conrad. So as far as size goes, capped, the Conrad is probably about a 1/4 inch longer. Snap cap, by the way, converter pen. Uncapped, I'd say that the Conrad, 3/8 of an inch longer, something like that. Posted, and this does post nicely. It's not a floppy, weird post. It's a nice post. Posted, the Jinhao is actually a 1/4 inch longer than the Conrad. Girth-wise, the Conrad is a little bit more girth to it. But overall, this is a nice Jinhao pen. So I thank you for watching. And now we'll switch over to a writing sample. I'm going to do my writing sample with my Jinhao 250. Now, I'll be honest, the room smells like black roses right now because I'm using a scented ink. But I don't know. I wrote an M question mark here because I don't actually know, to tell the truth, if this is truly a medium pen or if the fine. They're not labeled. So I'm just going to make my most intelligent guess because it looks wider. So let's do our writing sample. As you can see, it wrote just fine, no skips, no hard starts, no trouble at all. This is a perfectly reliable, if not very exciting pen. It has a little bit of line variation, not a lot to be called a flex pen or anything like that, but it's a decent enough pen. As I said, this is a gift to give to somebody to get them interested in fountain pens. This is not the pen most people are going to own in the long term. Now, I didn't leave myself enough room because there's some stuff at the bottom of the page you can't see yet. So I'm going to do my writing sample with the fine point version at the top of this piece of paper. I think you can see why I believe that this is a fine nib. Now, in my opinion, the fine is a bit scratchier. Still just as reliable, but not as much fun to write with. No real Perhaps slightly more line variation than the medium, but nothing to sneeze, or yeah, that makes no sense. Nothing to write home about, even if you are going to use a fountain pen. And just for fun, down at the bottom of the page here, down at the bottom of the page here, I wrote a short writing sample with each pen side by side, so at least you can get an idea. Draw a line with the fine, which is what's in my hand. The color, I can interchange parts, so if I prefer the other pen to be my fine, I can do that. And one written with the medium, which I think is a medium, and looking at the writing samples, I'm pretty sure I'm right. So as you can see, the medium's a bit thicker, but overall, good pen. Great pen? No, but it is a good pen. And it makes up for having a metal grip by having those ridges on the grip. So I thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.